What is going on, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm back with another video. Today I want to give you guys a guide to how to start intermittent fasting, and I'm going to do it right after this. Hey guys, it's your boy C-Dub, and for those of you that don't know me, I lost 125 pounds using intermittent fasting. So I wanted to do a little guide, put it together for you guys so that you know how to get started on your intermittent fasting journey. So it's the question that I get. People tell me either when I tell them I lost weight, one or two things. They say they can't do that, or they say, how do you do that? And those questions those two comments are generally what I'm going to get. So I'm going to answer the second one of those. And I'm going to say that when we're talking about how to get started intermittent fasting, people will say stop eating, and of course that's the easy answer. Stop eating, guys. But a lot of you realistically have been eating 3 to 6 meals a day, snacks and everything else your whole lives. So just doing it like that isn't a realistic thing. So how do we get started? And so my advice to you guys would be, we start by not worrying about anything. We start today and we say, you know what? Today I'm not going to eat after I consume my supper. And it's that easy to get started, in my opinion. And so I'm just going to throw a time out there and say you get finished eating supper at 6 p.m. So now you just don't eat. Now, I understand that that can be difficult. Matter of fact, I think that's the hardest part of this whole thing, is that we work hard all day long. We then get our kids ready for bed, or we get ready for the next thing. We're moving, we're hustling, and then when we sit down at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and now it's time for us to have a little bit of time where we're not pushing, it's time to snack. It's time to do things. And to get out of that habit is very difficult. So if you can stop eating after you consume your supper, now if you make that struggle happen and you work through it, and it might take a week to where you're not worried about it and you're just watching it and you're okay. It might take a month for some people. But I think that that's the beginning. And once you can sit down and you can say, I have gone every day for a week, a month, whatever, however long you feel it necessary, without touching anything after dinner, then I think you've gotten rid of the first part. And I think your weight will start coming down with just doing that. Just stopping eating after dinner is just a crucial thing. And so the next step, the next part of it, is to look at the other end of that and say, well, I stopped consuming at 6. So that's 10 in the morning now, I can consume again. And so if you can't do that right after now, so you stopped at 6 and maybe you're getting up at 6 in the morning, so you're doing a little 12-hour fast. So now normally you're eating at 6, and now I'm telling you to push it to 10, and that can be unrealistic as well. So I think pushing it back until maybe 8 to begin with. And so you're getting a 14-hour fast. And understand that a lot of people may be in that range where they feel comfortable at 14 hours, and they just don't want to push those last 2 off. And they've lost some weight and they're feeling good and they want to continue their journey that way. And that's fine. If that 14 hours, 12 hours of fasting is better than no hours of fasting. So, or 8 hours that you just normally would sleep. So, but understand that the great benefits aren't quite there. And so you want to push it to that 10 o'clock range at least. And that, I think you can do it in steps. I think that for me personally, 2-hour steps are the easiest adjustment period. So, you're used to, now you've stopped eating at dinner and you start eating at 6 in the morning. Now you push that to 8. And then once you get comfortable at 8, you push it to 10. There are people out there that are going to skip dinner for a week and jump right into 10 o'clock. They're going to say, why am I even messing with breakfast? And those people out there, I'm telling you, it's fine. Do it. If you feel comfortable and you're not struggling, do it. But I think that if you move it slower, for most people, it's going to be the thing that helps them the most. So after you move that window to a 16-hour period of time, you're golden. You are now intermittent fasting. You are now really putting the effort in, and I think you're going to start seeing those benefits. understand that there are a few things when you hit hiccups along the way. Because if you start at 12 hours and you see the scale move a little bit, and then right when you get used to that, you drop it to 14 hours and you get that scale still moving, and then you get used to 14 and you dropping it to 16, and now the scale's getting moving again. You're all of a sudden you're doing 16 for a while, and maybe it's not moving as much as you would like. And I think that that's something that an obstacle that you could run into. You've got to then understand, if you want to stay on the 16 to 8, that during that 16 to 8, one thing I would do is immediately make it 2 meals and cut all snacking out between them. And again, because snacking is just empty calories. So if you're only snacking 200 or 300 calories a day in that middle of it, and you cut those calories out, guess what? You're going to get that scale moving again. So if you're doing that for a while and your scale's moving down, and now it stopped again and you're only having the 2 meals, you have to evaluate those 2 meals and make sure you're still not taking in too many calories, because you could be having 2 very, very large meals and it not working. So then, shrinking your window down can be effective, and into an OMAD situation like I'm at now, or a warrior diet where you're doing 20 hours of fasting, if you're comfortable there. Personally, I think the warrior diet is where most people should live their life, but that's just my personal opinion. The point is you've got to make those adjustments on your own. You've got to feel when when your body is okay with it, and you got to move forward, and you got to understand that you just can't overeat no matter what your window is, whether that be an hour or whether that be 8 hours. That you've got to be conscious of how much food you're putting into your body. A lot of people that want to throw the hormone thing right into it, one thing I'll say on that end is, if you are fasting for 16 hours, you're only spending a good 4 hours in fat burning mode. So you are burning fat in those 4 hours. There's nothing in your body to do other than burn fat. But if you're consuming too much fat, you're going to be storing more than 4 hours of fat every day worth of energy, and therefore you're not losing any weight. So, you've got to be conscious of what you're doing there. But hopefully this is a guide to get you going in intermittent fasting. If you want to know what breaks your fast, anything with a calorie breaks your fast. But not everything is as bad as other things. So if you want to go, drink water, guys. Get going on the water. Get used to going on the water. There's clean fasts and dirty fasts and all kinds of other things for you to learn about. But those are all personal decisions. And don't let anyone else tell you either. That part of this journey is something that I would like to stress to you guys. When you hop up and you meet people in Facebook chats or other YouTube channels and wherever else, they want to tell you, oh, well, you have to do it clean. You have to do a dry fast. You have to do, you can't have 0-calorie sodas. You can't do this and you can't do that. But it's really personal. And it's up to what you can do, and understand that we're all different. And for example, the 0-calorie sodas, there have been studies that have showed that that they have different patients, some having them, all of them having them, but some it affected their blood sugar and others it didn't. So if you're having 0-calorie sodas in the beginning and you're losing weight and everything's cool, great. And then you hit that plateau and you cut your snacking out, and you've done everything you can do to lose weight, and you're not losing anymore, and I feel like I'm in a deficit, I feel like I'm doing everything right. Then reflect back on the sodas and say, is this the thing that's holding me up? And give it up for a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and see where it goes from there. And if your weight starts to move down again, you have an answer. I always use my cheesecake as an example. When at one point in the weight loss journey, I started eating these little cheesecakes, and for a whole month I ate cheesecakes, and I was losing weight. Then it just all of a sudden stopped, and I spent 2, 3, 4 weeks not losing any weight, and I was like, what's going on? I was killing it, and now I'm stuck. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give those cheesecakes up, and I'm only going to eat them twice a week instead of 7 times a week. And boom, my weight loss started flying back down again. So you've got to be smart, and you got to be able to make those adjustments. But I hope this guide helps you get started intermittent fasting. It is not that complicated, guys. They want to know, like, can I put a splash of cream in my coffee? Well, you shouldn't. But if you have to, put a splash of cream in there. But if you're not losing, you know where to start eliminating. That splash of cream could be the thing. So no matter what you're doing, You got to evaluate it. You got to make sure the scale's moving down. If you're one of those people that weigh themselves every single day, my advice to you is to average out Sunday, Sunday, add them all up and average it out every single Sunday so you know the average of what you lost over a week, because you go 2 pounds down today, 1 pound up tomorrow, and it gets frustrating. You don't see that long term you're going down the hill, and that's the positive thing. So I hope this helps. I hope it encourages you to get started fasting, guys. And I guess I'll catch you on the next one. Just make sure you guys please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment down below, and hit that thumbs up button, guys. Share it with a friend. Help this channel grow, and get out there and get fasting. It will change everything for you, I promise.